Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, tonight we're going to talk about a genius. We're talking about a genius for two reasons, yesterday and today. Today, because on December 2nd, 1950, a collection of his short stories was published under the title I, Robot. The stories were written individually and then kind of cobbled together with this kind of clumsy framework of somebody telling the stories to a reporter. If you're going to read it, just skip that part and read the stories individually. That's what he's known for, science fiction, Isaac Asimov. And he should be. He should be. But he was a genius in a lot of other ways. In 1964, he made a bunch of predictions about what life was going to be like today. Well, 5 years ago. He was talking about 50 years in the future, so 2014. Communications will become sight-sound, and you will see as well as hear the person you telephone. Yeah. Satellites hovering in space will make it possible to direct dial any spot on Earth. Electroluminescent panels will be in common use. Ceilings and walls will glow softly and in a variety of colors that will change at the touch of a button. LED lighting. Mock turkey and pseudo-steak will be served. It won't be bad at all, but there will be considerable psychological resistance to such innovation. Sounds familiar? Wall screens will have replaced the ordinary set, talking about your TV. An experimental fusion power plant or two will already exist. Large solar power stations will be in operation. Only unmanned ships will have landed on Mars, though a manned expedition will be in the works. The population of the U.S. will be 350 million. He's a little off there. Vehicles with robot brains it's a Tesla car. Said all this in 1964. Think about what the world was really like then. And he saw all this coming. And this is what he's known for. Science fiction, stuff like this. He actually published books on all sorts of things. He was a student of history and he followed politics very closely. Followed Watergate very closely. I was not impressed by the argument that it has spared the nation an ordeal. To my way of thinking, the ordeal was necessary to make certain it would never happen again. He's talking about Nixon basically walking free after resigning. Just like those other predictions, he was right. That type of behavior has increased in frequency and gets excused just like cheerleaders. I mean, people just cheering it along. And they use all sorts of excuses, Well, the other guy did this. Yeah. And each generation of president goes a little bit further, becomes a little bit more criminal in nature. We cannot use the past to excuse criminal actions of today. If this line of thinking continues, just remember, next time it may not be the guy you cheerlead for. At some point in time, this has to stop. We have to hold our leaders accountable. I said yesterday and today. Today was when his book was published. Yesterday was World AIDS Day. On April 6, 1992, he died of AIDS. Nowhere near the mind that he was. I'm going to make a prediction of my own for 50 years from now. If we don't start holding those in the White House accountable, 50 years from now, we won't be talking about impeachment because we won't have a presidency. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good night.